Alright, Shalom. Before I begin this video, all praise, honor, and glory goes into Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Harakak Midash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, GMS, who rule well and teach well, taught us His truth, as well as sincere salutations to the elder bishops, right, and enough respect to you brothers worldwide teaching and preaching the doctrine of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Harakak Midash in sincerity and in faith. You know, the 100% accurate doctrine. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Harakak Midash. Barakathum to you brothers. The Wadi Ba'ashem Yahushua 11:14. Alright, now it's 11:15. Man, the title of this lesson, this video, Epistle to the Spirit and Power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, is American debt is a hole that they cannot climb out of. Right? It's mathematically impossible for this place to bounce back. So I got a article right here from the Washington Street Journal. They talking about to continue reading, you're gonna have to pay. So I'm gonna just read as much as I can for the free ski, and then get into the precepts. We're not fucking paying. We're not paying. You know, we're not paying for information, man. All right. There's plenty of different avenues to get information, and that's the beauty of this quote-unquote alternative media. The mainstream media that Esau Edom uses to, you know, sway the minds of the people. It's harder to sway the minds of the people when they're able to, you know, gather some of their own information, man. Especially, once again, the elder apostles of Great Millstone on down, because we can take, you know, the different articles, we can take the different information that we receive, and we can filter it through the scriptures. So it says U.S. debt tops 100% of the GDP. Federal debt exceeding the size of the economy is a potent symbol of the gathering fiscal stresses on the U.S. So, if you receive $1 every day, and then you lose $1 every day, you back at square one. And that essentially is what America is like a broke, you know, like a broke college kid. They got a bill, you know, they got a light bill for $88, and all the college kid got is $88. That's it. So it ain't nothing after that. See, they make all this different money from these different goods, and so it come in and it immediately come out. Just as much as America is making, they spend it. All right, and ultimately this place is through. We know that this current system, it can only run for so long. All right, only for so long. It's gonna let me go down a little bit. Alright, so it says here, the U.S. national debt now exceeds 100% of gross domestic product, crossing a once unthinkable threshold. Yeah, and at one point it was unthinkable to think that this place financially would be in ruins. And we are. Okay, which goes to show that, the average Babylonian don't know what the hell is going on. The scriptures speak about let the words of the Most High be true. Alright? And let every man be a liar, roughly paraphrasing. So all the people who are against the Lord, all the people who are against, the prophecies, the doctrine of Yahweh Shem Shah. Because according to the words of Yahweh Shem Shah, Babylon the Great is going to fall. This shit ain't gonna be here for much longer. We ain't gonna be sitting up talking about America, fucking 20 years from now. It ain't happening. We ain't gonna be talking about America 10 years from now. 5 years from now. Lord willing. Lord willing, we get the hell up out of here. Because once again, it's a shitty experience. Right? To live and to die in Babylon the Great, man, it's a curse. It's a curse that's been put on our people, the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. That's something that was put on the Israelites. It says on the way toward breaking the record set in the wake of World War II. So if you had all that financial turmoil and you had World War II, then you're going to have financial turmoil and you're going to have World War III, which World War III is coming. We got to see the sea here, okay, in order to see all out anarchy and chaos. Yet we can see the build up to that point. As of March 31st, the country's publicly held debt was at 31.265 trillion, which is outrageous. And these devils have the nerve to sit up and lie and say that, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, so on and so forth, that these are the richest people in the world. Well, if that's the case, how the fuck are there trillions of dollars being spent? Somebody got to be giving out that money, right? That somebody is the international banking elite, aka basically the top, of Esau Edom as a nation. See, as a nation, you have Esau Edom on the lower end, as far as these different doctors, lawyers. That's really a low end Edomite compared to the international banking elite. And then, of course, you got the homeless Edomites. Edomites that are just, fucked up, all the time, or whatever the case is. Yet, all the way at the top, you got the so-called 1%, right? Those are the princes of Edom. Those are the well-renowned. Everybody speaks of them so highly, right? They speak of this financial system so highly. You ask the average Babylonian who the richest people in the world are, they're gonna say Jeff. They're gonna say Elon. All these different people, and they're not gonna speak on the international banking elite, because number one, they don't care, or they may not know, And that's not something that's given to them. Knowing that the cream of the crop, so to speak, of Esau Edom is the international banking elite. That's something that people just don't know. And even if they do know about the Rothschilds, Rockefeller, they cannot tie it to biblical prophecy. See, we understand and know that these are Edomites. And we already know, you can read the book of Obadiah. And when you read the book of Obadiah, it's basically telling you what's going to happen to the nation of Edom. Complete annihilation, complete destruction. So the same ones that, created and manufactured this money and, pushed this whole agenda and this whole system, they're going to be the first ones going into captivity, because the international banking elite, they're not going to be like the average Edomite. They're going to be able to escape for a little moment, a little short season. They might hop in one of those Jeff Bezos yachts, which that's nothing, man. That yacht / yachts that he got, that's nothing. You got international banking elite with super mega yachts. They got a yacht that can carry another yacht with a helicopter on it. A floating fortress. Alright, and this is just something that just isn't put out in the open. This ain't something that they worry about, the average Babylonian. The average Babylonian isn't thinking about how this wicked, so-called international banking elite, they're not thinking about how these people are preparing, they're going to try to prepare to leave and escape judgment, and it's not going to happen. Alright, they pulled this shit up. They pulled this shit off. Right? They definitely pulled this off. This financial system, they pulled that off. And it's been working. It's been working since this place, was propped up. Slocky, yet there's cracks in the armor. Now this place, it went from looking, strong. It went from, okay, the outlook is looking good. See, in the 50s, 60s, the outlook was looking good. Okay, yeah, we're going to go into the 70s, 80s, 90s, the new millennium. Yet, this place has been slowly but surely decaying from the inside out. And it's going to lead to this place ultimately being destroyed. It says, while GDP over the preceding year was 31.216, damn. So that's like you having a light bill for, $214, and all you got is $200. That ain't enough. Alright, you gonna fuck around and get them lights cut off, man. Alright, America gonna get its lights cut off. Alright, you people, you gonna experience what it feels like. See, because Jake grew up like that. Jake grew up, coming back home, shit, lights off, or water on. Then, okay, 2-3 days later, you got the money to get it cut back on. Then you gotta do this, you gotta do that. This whole system, and it's all based off of punishing the Israelites using this money as a tool to trample on and stomp on the necks of the Israelites. You know, money is supposed to be a defense, like the scriptures speak. Yet, 2/3 of our people, they're using it, as an offense, just like Esau Edom. Esau Edom used his money on the offense, right? These different foundations, right? Whether it be DARPA, whatever the case is, all these different groups that they pay, they're basically paying to put hell on the Israelites. Okay, how can we put hell on the Israelites? How can we make it worse for them? How can we put them more in debt? All right, how can we, and the other nations, right? They done fell into the money trap as well. Everybody is participating, in this financial system. And it's going to get to the point where they're going to have to introduce a CHIP. They're going to have to introduce a CHIP, that same international banking elite. Once that come on the scene, just know that WW3 right around the corner. Like, for a fact. And that CHIP, Slovakia, that CHIP is coming, sooner than later. It's not like, okay, 30 years from now they're gonna do away with cash. In which you damn near don't even use cash. I went to use some cash earlier today, and the chick thought I was gonna use a card. She was surprised I used cash. She's like, damn, I'm just used to people using cash. Right? It's gonna get to the point where it's gonna go from, cash and card to the CHIP. It's gonna be all about the CHIP. Buying or selling is gonna come through that. It ain't gonna come through, okay, let me process your card, let me this, let me that. Nah. It's gonna get to the point where the money, this old money system, it gotta get done away with. Because it's accomplished. What they've wanted to accomplish, and it's all about control. They've accomplished it. So now that they got the people hook, line, and sinker, they right around the corner from introducing the CHIP, which is the MOTB, right? The mark of the beast. Right? Fuck you damn devils, man. We gonna say it. Mark of the beast. Mark of the beast. Mark of the beast. You fucking devils. And you putting different strikes and different things of that nature. You doing all that. And you're not gonna stop prophecy. What you think is you think is you struck down a video that's doing something? You ain't doing nothing but furthering this ministry. The more you buck up against the truth and try to remove the truth out the way, the harder it's gonna hit you. This place through. Y'all still coming up against us. Y'all still coming up against the men of the Lord, starting off with the elder apostles of Great Millstone on down. You continue to buck up, right? And that's because you can't see, hey, this shit through. You would have to be spiritually retarded to think that this is going to continue. Damn. Says that figure will likely climb for the foreseeable future because the federal government is running historically large annual deficits of nearly 6%. Woo! So it's only going to continue to get worse. This shit only going to be more and more through. Alright? You're going to have the average Babylonian sounding like finesse to y'all gonna have noodles, no packet. It's an inside joke. I forgot all the ones that the brother said. Lights. You're gonna have lights. No light. You're gonna have them street lights, no lights. You're gonna have a house, no AC. You're gonna have a stomach, no food. And people already having to make certain choices, certain options. Of course, you got individuals with kids, right, that have to choose, okay, do I feed my children or do I pay my light bill? Which is something that the Israelites have been facing all our lives, man. All our lives. We face that. We face the hardship and the heartache that is living in Babylon the Great. This shit, it's a headache. It's mentally exhausting. Yeah, we'll never be mentally exhausted through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. We're going to stand up. We're going to rise up to the occasion. Right? We're going to do our thing through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Following the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. Following the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability. All right, continuing to stay up under the banner of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. All right, that doctrine comes with a way of living. Okay, we hold that name and that title high above our heads. The names of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. That's our safety. That is our strong tower. That's how we survive. That's how we maintain. All right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Let me get the precept that I have pulled up. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Like we've been taught from our elder apostles on down, that thick clay goes into debt. I believe the word is called abadyat. It's like if I mispronounced it. So they saying woe, meaning death or destruction. to the thief, to the robber, to the murderer. Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, you fucking devil. May Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, destroy you as a nation. Y'all are the devil that the Bible speaks of. He says, let me just read that again through the Spirit. Habakkuk 2:6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him? Yes, so you being taunted as well. Because the other, see, this ain't in-house information. This ain't in-house information. All the other nations, are aware of what you're doing and what you got going on. They know. They know for a fact, okay, this is a good sign for us. Because the other nations, they believe that they up next. Yeah, y'all fucking wrong. You wrong. False. Negative. Not happening. Verse 7. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? Yeah, so your enemies, your enemies are about to pounce on you, man. You about to be done and over with. They know, okay, you getting weak. They can see that you're through. And they think they know what comes next. But they don't know what's coming next, man. They believe they know what's coming up next. They believe that they're going to be next to shine, so to speak. Which that just ain't the case. They think that this system that's currently set up, right? They think that they just gonna basically come with a new system, all right, and that they just gonna live happily ever after, which we know that's not the case. And part of the reason why these other nations are gonna turn against Esau Edom is because the international banking elite is going to use America as one of the main proving grounds for the sea hip. And these other nations, they gonna think in their mind, shit, okay, so America ruled this, system as far as, the cash and the credit and the cards and all that. So when it comes to the sea hip, basically that's good. America's going to be on the forefront of that, which is really going to piss them other nations off. That, okay, once again, it has become apparent that, the other nations, it's become apparent that the other nations are aware, hey, this is taking place. It's going to be a new monetary system, and you're going to have E heading it again. So what they gonna say? They're gonna say, okay, well, time to go to war. Because that financially is what continues to happen. Every time somebody gets in control of some money and they kind of dictate what's going on, they want to be the leader. Obviously America wants to be the leader, and the international banking elite has set up Babylon the Great, more specifically New York, New York City as its basically its financial headquarters. You know, and all the other nations, they're not trying to take part in what Esau Edom got cooking up. Alright. Now of course we know that the CHIP is gonna come on a worldwide, you know, level. It's gonna come worldwide. We know that for a fact. You know. Yet ultimately they're not gonna be on the same, you know, wavelength as America, man. They want their own. Okay, all these other nations, they want their own shit. They don't want to, you know, that's why they want to get rid of the petrodollar. They want to get rid of all this different influence. And they want to just go back to basics. Moab wants to go back to what Moab is doing. You know, that wine is starting to wear off. You know, so now they getting to the point where shit, we want to do our own thing. Okay, fuck what this damn devil's talking about. And that's why the scriptures speak about, you know, in the book of Joel, let the weak say I am strong. Because we know that ultimately these other nations who are weak, they are in fact weak. You know, they've joined together and they've decided amongst themselves, hey, fuck Babylon the Great, aka America. Let's do our own thing. You know, the scriptures also speak about the people from those other nations returning back to their own land. Which you seeing that as well. You seeing people leave Babylon the Great at a crazy rate. And these aren't people that just came here a year ago. You know, you have, you know, certain individuals that are, you know, multi-generations of family just saying, fuck it, let's pack up and go. They basically done with this damn place, man. And good. You know, because basically if you a heathen and you here in Babylon the Great, aka America, you gonna die. Because ain't none of the heathen getting beamed up. So essentially, shit, if you don't leave and go about your business, you gonna die from them nuclear missiles. Which ultimately it ain't gonna matter because you're going into captivity anyways. But, you know, if you wanna, you know, that's our best advice here at Great Millstone. If you a heathen, shit, you might as well just move, leave, go back to your quote-unquote home country, you know, chill for the little time that you got, and then do some push-ups and sit-ups and, you know, take your supplements. Get ready to serve in captivity, man. I'm just talking shit through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We just making fun of you heathens, man. Like the elder apostles constantly say, you got to have fun with this thing. That's part of how we know that this makes sense, man. It's easy to speak on through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. It's easy to speak on prophecy, what's coming up next. And we know, you know, and it's saying right here on paper, it's showing that, hey, America basically making $1 and spending $1.50 every day. That don't make no damn sense. If you got a job and your check come and it's whatever amount, you know, however much amount of money it is, if you spending more than you making, you in debt. All right. Now, you can only do that for so long until them debts get called. And at this point, the international banking elite, they're calling the debts on this place. So now they're going to say, okay, we'll forgive the debt, but you got to take this C-HIP. That's going to have people taking the C-HIP off rip, especially the so-called black woman. If you tell her, hey, yo, I'm gonna go ahead and try her, because most of you so-called black women, your credit is trash. So we're gonna take your 215 credit score, which I don't even think it can get that low, but we're gonna take 215's credit score, and you gonna have, 800 or whatever the highest is, as long as you take that C-HIP. And best believe they're gonna do it, because that's what they do. They want to stay in this system. They want to thrive in this system. This is a crumbling system, right? And these different articles, once again, these are indicators, and these are different bits of information that we use to, filter with the scriptures, man. So we know what this is going to result in. We know that the C-HIP is right around the corner. This is an indication that the mark of the beast is, in fact, on its way. We heard and we have learned about that. We've learned about the mark of the beast being the C-HIP. We have heard that report from the elder apostles of Great Millstone. That's the only group of men, that are teaching about the mark of the beast being the chip, and 100%, with 100% accuracy. Okay, nobody else is speaking on the C-HIP. Okay, we don't have nobody else speaking on the C-HIP. All right, we got different individuals speaking on. Okay, you got people speaking about the other nations. You got them speaking about this and that. Don't nobody really speak about the C-HIP, because quite honestly, the C-HIP, the idea of the C-HIP, it actually terrifies a lot of people. Yet we know that just because it's terrifying, just because it's scary, don't mean that it ain't true. That's some little kid shit. Thinking that, because you scared of the C-HIP, you think that it ain't gonna come. Because you scared, you out your damn mind. You can see all the indicators without a shadow of a doubt. You can see the indicators. There's a clear indication of what's happening next. Salakia was watering these plants. I think I might as well rinse the car off. This is a prophesying water. water and prophecy. Right? Like a GMS walk and talk. GMS water and talk. Alright? Just like how you water the plants, every day the plant grow a little bit more. Then all of a sudden, you see that flower start to spring forth. You see the increase starting to come. So yeah, we see the flower budding. We see that MOTB flower. We can see it flourishing. And now we know that right around the corner, we're going to have the C-HIP, right? It's blooming, that flower is blooming. Okay, and it's going to produce a C-HIP. It's going to produce anarchy, chaos, right? We know that that's what's on the way. We know that that's what's coming, right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And we wait patiently for that. That's one of the main prophecies that we still waiting on, right? Is that C-HIP. We know for a fact that the C-HIP is on its way. You got these articles, such as these, showing that hey, this right around the corner. And we ain't got to worry, right? We just got to serve Yahweh Hashem Yahushua to the best of our ability. Okay, fear the Lord. Continue to study, pray, fast, right? All things, you know, that applies to me first and foremost before any brother. And continuing to serve the Lord, continuing to serve Him, right, in righteousness. That's the thing, in righteousness, in sincerity and in faith, you know. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the video there. All praise, honor, and glory goes unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Harakakwadash. Once again, double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, GMS, who rule well and teach well and taught us His truth, as well as the sincere salutations to the elder bishops, along with you brothers laboring all throughout the four winds of the earth. Kwam Yashala and a Baba Ball. Alright, this bitch is almost done. We waiting on the sea hit. It's coming. Alright, shalom.